Donald Trump held a meeting with Republican governors at Mar-a-Lago. I want to look through some clips and watch him being fact-checked because it is stunning how many lies, especially about the subject that he's directing these lies toward, he's willing to spew all over the place, including at this meeting. So actually, let's start with that. You'll see here CNN playing the clip of him and then the fact check.
Gavin Newsom had an opportunity to have millions of gallons a week, a day, millions and millions of gallons come down from the north. And I was able to get him federal approval from that, from the Department of Commerce of all departments. I didn't realize it would go through Commerce. I would have thought environmental, but it goes through Commerce. I got all of the approvals, and he said, I don't want to sign it. I don't want the water.
CNN's Daniel Dale is joining us for a fact check of some of this. So, Daniel, can you tell us about what Trump said there? Is it true?
I showed a social media post from the president-elect yesterday to an expert in California water policy, a man named Jeffrey Mount. He said, Abby, none of it is true. So this has just been a staggering quantity of wrongness from the president-elect in a very short period of time. And there have been some small specific examples, like he keeps saying that Governor Newsom refused to sign a so-called water restoration declaration. In fact, no such declaration even exists, as Newsom's office has pointed out. He also said yesterday that they're not using firefighting planes. We've seen those planes. They're there. But more than that, Abby, I think the president-elect has promoted an overarching false narrative. You heard a bit of it there, that the challenges we're seeing in the firefighting effort have something to do with a long-running policy battle about how much water should be kept in the north of the state to protect fish species like the Delta smelts and other environmental ecosystems, and how much should be sent to the south to help agricultural interests, farmers in an area called the Central Valley. Now, two water policy experts in California told me emphatically yesterday, none of this has anything to do with each other. There is simply no connection between the protection of that smelt fish in that estuary in the Delta in the north and what we're seeing in the south for a number of reasons. But
and he continues it. We talked about that yesterday, but I don't want to get into a whole rant over this. It's just so upsetting, and I'm exhausted by it today. Looking through social media and seeing this bizarre hunger, just this vibration and obsession coming spewing out of people. They're so obsessed and fixated on political attacks amid these wildfires. And it's one thing to make a political point that is substantiated. All right, well then it's just a point. It's just an important point you maybe want to make. But to lie blatantly so because you want so badly to hurt your political opponent amid people's lives being devastated is difficult to forgive. Moving from that subject, though, here is Trump also at this meeting getting asked about the friendly video of him and Obama at Jimmy Carter's funeral talking and Obama laughing and some smiles.
Top, you mentioned the Carter funeral today. What were you talking to Barack Obama about?
It did look very friendly, I must say. I didn't realize it. I didn't realize it, how friendly it looked. I saw it on your wonderful network just a little while ago before I came in, and I said, boy, they look like two people that like each other. And we probably do. We have little different philosophies, right? But we probably do. I don't know, we just got along. But I got along with just about everybody on that. We met backstage, as you know, before we went on. And I thought it was a beautiful service, but we all got along very well.
Who describes the space before walking into a cathedral where you're sitting in the audience backstage? That's kind of strange. I think a part of it is he does see all of this as such a performance. It doesn't go both ways. I think someone like Obama, despite him laughing at some of the stuff Trump was saying, I think he does genuinely see the threats posed by Trump and how low character and how bad as a leader he'd be and doesn't respect Trump. I don't think Trump actually dislikes Vice President Harris or Obama, or maybe he actually dislikes Hillary Clinton. I don't know. I think in a different world, he wished that he had the approval of folks like that. But for him, it's a performance so that he can defeat them, and he'll say anything. And so for him, he thinks it's funny to go, well, maybe we really do like each other. I hope not. At least I hope Obama doesn't actually like you. And the fact that he'd say that, given what he said about Obama, is so two-faced. Then, while Canada is helping out with wildfire response in California, Trump's saying this.
A lot of them. We don't need Canada for that. We don't need Canada for lumber because we have big forests that we have, not utilized. In some cases, they're protected, which I can take that protection off. And you take down a tree and you grow a better tree. That's, pretty common. But we don't need anything. We don't need their fuel. We don't need their energy. We don't need their oil and gas. We don't need anything that they have. And I said to Trudeau, I said, why are we subsidizing you $200 and $250 billion a year? He said, I really don't know. And I said, well, I don't know either. I said, what would happen to Canada if we didn't? He said, Canada would be obliterated if that happened. I said, then Canada should be a 51st state.
Yeah, that conversation almost certainly didn't happen the way that he's saying it. And I want to clarify, the way I worded that made it sound like he was responding to the fact that Canada was helping us. That's not what this clip was. He's just attacking them like this, talking about subsidization. I think he's misunderstanding what he's talking about. Maybe he's talking about trade deficits, but he's doing this as Ron Filipkowski pointed out. Trump said the U.S. didn't want or need anything from Canada, so he doesn't care about hitting them with tariffs. Quote, there's nothing they have that we want. There's nothing they have that we need. And then the premier of Ontario said, the scenes out of California are devastating. Ontario will always stand ready to serve. I've directed officials to send every available water bomber to fight these fires. We'll provide whatever personnel and equipment is needed and spare no expense to help our closest friends and allies. And you can see on the internet a bunch of videos of Canadian planes helping to fight these fires. Not charging us. They're taking the cost burden just to help. While Trump is saying we don't need anything from them. We're going to destroy their economy with tariffs because that'll do something for us. Then he's asked about meeting with Putin.
A ton of world leaders have called you as well. We understand still no call with Putin. Is that a day one or week one call?
No, he wants to meet, and we're setting it up. President Xi, we've had a lot of communication, and we have a lot of meetings set up with a lot of people. Some have come, but I'd rather wait till after the 20th.
And when you say meet with Putin or meet with Xi, do you guys want to have some kind of a summit, or are they going to come here?
To be determined, but President Putin wants to meet. He's said that even publicly, and we have to get that war over with. That's a bloody mess.
Right, so he had indicated during the campaign that he could, even potentially within 24 hours of winning the election, end Russia's invasion of Ukraine. But like we said at the time, when you can't present any evidence that that is likely, any plan, any proposal for how you'd get that done, that doesn't include handing Putin everything that he'd like so that he can just recoup and then continue the invasion further, it's tough to believe some of Trump's big promises on stuff like that. Then Trump continues to fan the flames of the conspiracy theories around the drones and how the government knows and Joe Biden's covering it up. This is in relation to the New Jersey drones.
Story that kind of disappeared very suddenly. Do you have any idea whatever happened to the drones?
What happened to drones?
Well, you had said that you thought the government knew what was happening with these drones over New Jersey. There were some by Bedminster.
I don't know. They're over Bedminster a lot, so I can imagine. I'm going to give you a report on drones about one day into the administration, because I think it's ridiculous that they're not telling you about what's going on with the drones. And it's not only with me. Glenn was telling me today that in Virginia they have drones all over the place too, and nobody's reporting it. I don't know why they're not. Do you want to say something about that?
Just one quick comment, which is we are home to the largest naval base in the world in Quantico, and we house a lot of the SEAL teams and have a huge national security infrastructure. And now for 2 years running, we have had drone incursion over secure airspace, and we still don't know why. And I think that's absolutely unacceptable. And I think President Trump and the new leadership coming in, I think will work diligently.
Yeah, him, Larry Hogan, Trump, and so many others have been misstating, as we have talked about before, a lot of the drone stuff. And I've said from the beginning, I'm not saying this is just rational. I'm just saying I don't know and I don't care. And every time I do try, because I want to bring all the relevant stories to you, I try to go look into, is there any? And then I find a video and it's a plane, or I find a video and it's just somebody's drone. You can fly a drone up into the sky, or it's literally Venus. Yes, Venus was one of the videos going around. It's tough. It's tough to care when at least the overwhelming, all the stuff I've come across was nothing that I found concerning. But people love riling themselves up. And I know people didn't care that much by how much or how quickly people gave up even thinking about it or talking about it. Trump also said this.
Jeff Bezos came, Bill Gates came, Mark Zuckerberg came. Many of them came numerous times. The bankers have all come. Everybody's coming. Jeff Bezos.
You know, I have not watched that clip yet. I just saw the caption of what it was going to be, and I did not realize how funny that was going to sound. One more time.
Jeff Bezos came, Bill Gates came, Mark Zuckerberg came. Many of them came numerous times. The bankers have all come. Everybody.
I'm sorry. I'm not saying this is mature. I'm not saying it's worth your time. But
Jeff Bezos came, Bill Gates came, Mark Zuckerberg came. Many of them came numerous times. The bankers have...
It's that part. That's the part that does it. Because as he was starting, I was like, that's fine. That sounds normal. And then this did it for me.
Came numerous times. The bankers have all come. Everybody's coming.
Well, in Trump's America, I guess that's one positive. No, it is so devastating that Zuckerberg keeps coming. And I honestly, though, in all seriousness, you do have a bunch of powerful people going to Mar-a-Lago and kissing the ring and sacrificing any principles they previously stood by to say, no, please be friendly to me, Trump. And it is the sign of how frightening of a place we're in, where they feel the need to do that. People who previously spoke out against the baton now going down and going, oh, we're going to be besties. And that to us should be a reminder that sort of if we don't stand up for our values, who will? Because clearly more powerful folks are giving up on us. One more clip.
What's the price tag?
Well, maybe no price tag. Look, we're going to have to see what happens because Denmark, we need this for national security. We need Greenland very badly. You look at the Russian ships, the China ships, they're all over the place. They're, surrounding. Now, they have for a long time. That's a lane. But we need that for national security. So I don't know that Denmark has any right, title, and interest, and we're going to find that. But I can tell you, you saw the clips that were released. The people of Greenland would love to become a state of the United States of America. We were greeted with tremendous...
Yeah, so he's not letting this go, apparently, which is rather aggravating, but I've addressed that many times before. Let me know your thoughts in the comments.